Hi everyone. So I am doing a special for cancer season. Today I want to talk to you about herbs for cancer season and just all about cancer season, working with it for womb healing. Of course, this is cancer season in the sense of astrology. So if you have had an unbalanced cycle, if you have dealt with any kind of menstrual imbalance or just disconnect from the menstrual cycle, this is definitely a season to explore and to dive into healing and connecting with the womb space and just connecting with the elements of cancer as far as how the sign of cancer relates to the body. So, the sign of cancer has a lot to do with our heart, the chest, also with the belly, the stomach, and the womb. So, when we think of cancer, I think a lot of times there's that symbolism of like the crab and having like this soft interior and this harder exterior and kind of like protecting our emotions. And this relates so strongly to the heart and womb connection between that the heart and womb connection in general and how we can work on nurturing that and healing that. It's cancer season is amazing for it. So Cancer is a water sign. It's a sign that's associated with the element of water, and it's also a cardinal sign. So we just had the solstice, and happy solstice to everyone. But the yes, this will also be in the newsletter. The sign of Cancer has a lot to do with new, like taking action. A cardinal sign is a sign that is about the start of a new season. It's about forward movement and action. And the summer solstice, of course, is associated with, as far as its connection to the menstrual cycle, is associated with ovulation. So it's like this peak of a season. It's the peak of this time of the year. It's the longest day of the year, the summer solstice. And the sign of Cancer is also connected to the moon. And when you think of the moon, you can often think of the moon's connection to the water. So that could be the waters on the earth, or also the waters of our body. And the waters of our body are connected to the sign of Cancer as well. So there's a lot to explore there. We can look at menstrual blood, we can look at the breast and how we nurture. Cancer is associated with the mother and the mother line. And there's this deep connection to the idea of nurturing and how we are nurtured from our mothers. We are nurtured by breast milk. When we are in the mother's womb, we are nurtured by the blood of our mother. And that's what nourishes us. So we think of things like menstrual blood and breast milk, and the breast and the womb can be very much connected to the sign of Cancer. So I don't know about you, but I, for many years, would, for some reason, my cycle would always align with the Cancer new moon. I don't think it's going to happen this year, which is kind of exciting because I feel like that also says a lot about the cycles that I was going through during that time of my life and the healing work that I was doing. But when our menstrual cycles start or align with the sign of Cancer, it can bring about a lot of emotional healing, a lot of healing around the mother line. And just in general, when we're in Cancer season, we can look at the astrology to kind of give us an idea of the things that we could be releasing with our menstrual blood and with each cycle. So the sign of Cancer can have a lot to do with, things around mothering ourselves, the things that we learned about how to care for ourselves from our mothers or our primary caregivers. All of that can come to the surface and be explored and healed. So I chose the herbs for Cancer season kind of based on that healing process, and just because of the associations between Cancer and the parts of the body that it rules astrologically. So the first herb was Lady's Mantle, and I love Lady's Mantle. I remember the first time I saw it, I was just so like, I was just so in love with it because it's so beautiful. It was these big leaves that kind of have rippled edges or kind of pointy edges, and there's like water droplets that it will hold. And the water oftentimes comes from the plant. It's not just dew. A lot of the water actually comes from the plant, which I thought was really, really interesting. And to me, that speaks a lot to the waters and how that kind of like container, because the plant lady's mantle is really just such a powerful ally for the womb space. And so when we think of the womb, we think of the uterus being this organ that can build up a lining on the inside and kind of hold all of this blood, and then each month is released. And so when I think of lady's mantle, I kind of make that association between where water is held in the body, or I should say blood is held in the body, and in particular in the womb space, because lady's mantle is such an amazing ally for anyone who has heavy bleeding, anyone who has painful periods. I love lady's mantle just blended into a tea with some raspberry leaf, chamomile, a little bit of spearmint. That makes a really, really nice blend for painful periods. You could even throw a little bit of hibiscus in there, and it's just an amazing, amazing blend for painful periods, or just even connecting with the womb space. You don't have to have a painful period to work with lady's mantle. You can work with it more in an energetic sense as well. It's a pretty gentle herb, but of course it's not something that you want to use if you are pregnant, because it can also act as an emmenagogue. It's kind of like an herb that can bring on blood if your period is kind of sluggish to start, but it's also an herb that can help slow down bleeding. But because of that emmenagogue factor, because it can help to bring on bleeding, you don't want to use this herb if you're pregnant, or if you think you could be pregnant. So I love lady's mantle. It's definitely something to explore. The tea it doesn't have a very strong flavor. It's a very mild flavor. It's pretty easy to work with. You can blend it with a lot of different herbs. So if you have other herbs that you like to work with as like a premenstrual tea, lady's mantle could be a great addition to that. So the second herb is motherwort, and you've probably seen me, if you look through my feed, you've probably seen me share a lot about motherwort because it's one of my favorite herbs. It really does pick up on that heart and womb connection for me. Motherwort is known, the botanical name is Leonaris cardiaca, and that basically means like lion heart, and it's having this strength in the heart. It's having this it has this connection to the heart space, and it has a connection to strengthening the heart. It's really great for anyone who has things like heart palpitations or weak heart. Motherwort is an herb that I have worked with personally for anxiety. Like when I used to have really painful cycles, I noticed that I would have so much anxiety the day before my period was going to start, and that anxiety would actually make my pain so much worse. And I would start having pain before my cycle started simply because of anxiety. And I work with motherwort to help calm down that anxiety, and it really just was amazing. It kind of like wiped out a lot of premenstrual period pain for me, because a lot of it was associated with my nervous system and anxiety, and motherwort was just amazing for that. So there's that nervous system support. Motherwort is a nervine herb. It's an herb that supports the nervous system. It's also a very bitter herb, so it also is kind of supportive for the liver, which to me, any time that someone has any kind of menstrual imbalance that involves pain, that involves hormonal imbalance, that involves like anxiety and stress, motherwort is something that's really great to turn to. If someone has any kind of thyroid imbalance though, then you want to make sure that you check with an herbalist before working with motherwort. So that's just something to be mindful of. Let me see. So motherwort picks up on this heart and womb connection, and I wanted to share a little bit of information from you from this book called Taoist Qigong for Women. And it's a book that basically explores a lot of the energetics around around the feminine and around the parts of the body that are associated with the female reproductive system. So in Taoism there, and in a lot of Chinese medicine also, there's this connection between the heart and the uterus. And I'll show you this little picture, hopefully you can see that, where the energy of the heart goes down to the womb. And this is something that I've seen really strongly in my own healing journey and working with clients around healing the womb space. A lot of it has to do with healing our hearts and softening our hearts and self-love and being able to release emotions and not holding on to them. Because when we hold emotions, that's connected to stagnancy, and especially stagnancy in the womb space. So this has to do with our connection to our primary caregivers, and our parents, our mothers and fathers, whoever your primary caregiver was. That love that we experience as a child, or the absence of love that we experience as a child, that can be very much connected to how we hold our emotions as we grow and come into our menstruating years. So this heart and womb connection is really powerful, and the emotions that are not processed through the heart kind of get sent down into the womb space and can be released with each menstrual bleed. So when we have a healthy heart and womb connection, and things are not stagnating in the womb space, then we're able to release them. We're able to release those emotions. So that can come from working with herbs like motherwort, but it can also come from doing womb care practices like womb massage. I love womb massage because there is that downward flow from when I do womb massage. It kind of starts at the diaphragm and goes down to the top of the pubic bone. And so working that area helps to bring movement. And so creating your own herbal oil for this, that's why I added that herbal oil for you in the Cancer Season Herbs post. But that can really help with breaking up stagnation in that part of the body. And this is the part of the body that is ruled by the sign of Cancer. So this is a really great time to explore things like womb massage, explore things, or at least maybe even establishing a womb massage practice, working with womb massage for maybe, different times in the season of Cancer, but also maybe for the Cancer new moon. That could be incorporated into your ritual if you're doing any kind of ritual for that. So the third herb that I mentioned was chamomile. Chamomile is one of my favorite herbs. It's an herb that really helps to support digestion and the nervous system. And I included chamomile because it's an herb that I have worked with so much in my own womb healing journey. I work with it all the time. I love to drink chamomile tea when I'm preparing for my bleeding time. It's just such a wonderful and powerful herb, and gentle as well, for supporting the nervous system and for helping to support us digest our emotions. So I just mentioned how the emotions from the heart are kind of go down into the womb, into the uterus. And this is also very much connected to chamomile, and how when our emotions are stuck in that transition or in that movement, that downward flow, and they're showing up in the digestive system, they can cause digestive upset. And so anytime we're experiencing digestive upset that is connected to stagnant emotions or difficult emotions, anytime we're having trouble processing an emotion, chamomile, I keep saying Cancer, chamomile is a really wonderful herb to help with processing those emotions when they're showing up in our digestion. So if you are someone who experiences any kind of digestive upset with your menstrual cycle, incorporating chamomile can be really, really helpful. Of course, that's going to be connected to a lot of other things when you're experiencing those digestive imbalances with your menstrual cycle, with your bleeding time. because that's going to be very much connected to hormones. It's going to be very much connected to also some of the things that your body could be telling you about the emotions that you're processing and about what your body actually needs during bleeding time. Sometimes the body is trying to tell you, like, hey, this food is actually causing me a lot of distress, and that food that you're eating that could be causing distress could also be connected to emotions. So there's like so much energy of connection between these emotions and the digestion and how we experience our bleeding time. And these three herbs together can really help us to understand what it is that we're processing. And I love to incorporate these herbs, and any herb really, in a physical sense, but also very much in an emotional and energetic sense. So when you're working with something like chamomile, maybe you're having trouble processing an emotion, or maybe your digestion is off and you're not really sure why and you feel a little bit anxious. Just when you're sipping that tea, ask that plant, ask chamomile. I would probably combine it with a little bit of spearmint, a little bit of oat straw, maybe a little bit of raspberry leaf, but asking those plants to give you clarity on what it is that you're holding in your body and, emotionally, and how you can work on releasing it. And then just drink your tea and pay attention to any insights that come in for you. So those are the three herbs that I have for Cancer season. I love Cancer season for connecting with the womb space, relearning how to care for ourselves, how to mother ourselves, how to nurture ourselves, because Cancer again has this strong connection with nurturing. So think about the ways that you want to nurture yourself. Think about the ways that you want to nurture your connection to your womb space and your heart, to your chest. This is also such a great time for chest or breast massage. So making your own herbal oil. This is like such a great time to explore that. And it's so nourishing. It's so nice for us to have these practices of nourishing our bodies, whether it's through massage or maybe baths or whatever it is that is most nurturing for you. It's also a really great time for, steaming, and steaming to help release the emotions that could be held in the womb space. And so maybe incorporating womb massage and steaming into your Cancer new moon ritual, or even the Capricorn full moon, because that has a lot to do with the ways that we've parented ourselves and how that parenting shows up in our work and our day-to-day lives, because there is this connection between the Cancer and Capricorn axis around like reparenting ourselves and making sure that our more authoritarian parent, the more masculine energy of parenting ourselves, making sure that's not making sure that element is not taking away from our dreams, our more wild and soft nature, and is allowing space for that, and allowing that to be nurtured, as well as the parts of ourselves that are focused on like work and our work in the world. So that's what I wanted to share with you today around Cancer season and herbs. I hope this is helpful for you. I absolutely love connecting herbs with the menstrual cycle and just the body in general, our journeys in life, and astrology. So I'll probably be doing more of these each month. I'll pair the herbs and astrology post that I do here on Instagram with a chat about the herbs. So also you can sign up for my email newsletter. I'm going to go into more depth around journal prompts and herbs and ritual for Cancer season, and just things that you can work with to help with exploring all of these aspects of Cancer season, and the healing work, and just the nurturing, the deep nurturing that can happen during this time, and also weave in the element of or the season of summer and how that plays into all of this wonderful Cancer season energy. So I hope you all had a wonderful solstice, and I hope you have a wonderful Cancer season, and I hope you enjoy all of these explorations with the womb space and incorporating these herbs. If you decide to work with any of these herbs, if you have worked with any of these herbs, I would love to hear from you and hear about your experiences with them. Thank you, Franny. I really enjoyed sharing this, and I look forward to Leo season and sharing more information with you about herbs and astrology. Leo season is going to be so much fun. I don't want to jump ahead, but we're definitely going to be exploring lots of like courage and heart space, more heart opening. So diving into this Cancer season and exploring the connection between your chest and your womb is going to be a really great preparation for Leo season. So I will see you all again next week for the next Sacred Journey live chat, and I hope you all again have a wonderful Cancer season, and I'll see you soon. Bye.